Coming into the hot seat is Miss Brittany Decker of Channel 13 News. How's that like for you?
It's good, man. I'm living the dream. No, it's cool. It's a different day every day. I get to meet some great people. I'm doing what I love. I anchor the evening shows, the 4 and 5 o'clock show in the evening, but I'm also telling people stories. So it's a loaded job.
Yeah, for real. How's that like dealing with everybody's stories, whether it's either a good story or more of a depressing story, having to kind of press into that?
That's the thing. Like, the news is sad. You know? And a lot of people say, I don't watch the news because it's
sometimes.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly hard. I'm not the type of person that can really disconnect, which I guess you do have to compartmentalize. But when you're sitting in front of a teleprompter, you're reading a script, you can detach, I guess, a little bit, but you have to think that we're reading about sometimes the worst days of people's lives, right?
Yeah.
When we meet people or we're interviewing people, we're talking about some heavy and hard stuff, and I do take that home with me. So it's hard, but we do it. We have a balance, and I'm grateful that I get to tell a lot of the good that's going on too. So I love storytelling. I love meeting unique people. So for me, it's a good balance of finding good stories and people doing awesome things and informing people of what's going on, because I do. When people say they don't watch the news, I can understand to a point, but I do think it's important for people to be informed of what's going on in their own communities and to find solutions to things. So
exactly. Yeah. It's just that balance of emotionally connecting with a person so that they can open up with you. But at the same time, like, you can't take that home with you or else you're kind of bearing a burden, know.
But
so
it's a fine
line.
If you are doing it the right way, in my opinion, if you're sitting down and you're interviewing a mother that lost her son, you should feel a certain way, right?
Yeah.
I've done so many interviews where I am just crying with them, and but you know what? You're connected to people, but it helps you to see what's actually going on in the world, and I think that's important for everyone to understand to a point.
And then how do you bring those stories into your everyday life?
I carry too much with me, probably. It's funny because I'll go back to the station and I'm like, oh, you found a new friend, or I have like all these best friends all over Central Alabama. But I stay connected with people, which I think is a blessing too.
Yeah.
And I do take it home. But I've met so many incredible people in so many facets of life, right? So good things and bad things, and I don't know. It's just awesome. My job is so cool because there are people that you wouldn't meet otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? And your whole motto, every face has a story. I literally get to see that every day. And you have to dig down and get it sometimes.
Like, your whole job is to go and find gems.
Yeah.
Like, that is so cool.
It really is. There was this one guy who he used to make cakes professionally for famous people, like really famous people. And now he lives in the Glen Iris neighborhood and he bakes a cake every day, like this incredible chef. And he leaves them on his front porch for strangers to come get every day.
So
and like, how cool is that?
Oh my gosh.
There's this older woman who makes this hand cream and like just having their purpose in her life of serving people through like Patsy cream. It's just so cool. So many
like
neat
finding your
stories.
passion and then serving others with it.
And we can all learn a lesson from other people, right? And what they do. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Cool. And then I know I talked with you about this before, but you have ran a marathon every single month. How in the world do you balance that with news anchoring?
I'm tired in life, man. No, I was just saying, I think I personally value health. I think everybody should value health, and I'm passionate about success is tied directly to your health and how you feel, right?
Yeah.
So I make it a priority. First of all, I want to mention that every single day in some capacity, I make sure I go into work with a good mindset. Mindset is everything. So I make it a priority to work out every single day in some capacity, to read, to journal, so I can go into my job with a clear mind. Running is very easy because anyone could do it. You could tie up your shoes and go. People of all abilities can do it and find a way to do it. So I started running a long time ago. My high school teacher got me into it. We started pushing wheelchairs and running initially way back. And then when I decided to do a marathon again, it was in January of 2019. And I felt terrible. I thought I was going to die. I'm like, this is horrible. I'm never doing this again. But instead of that, I said, no way. I'm going to do it again. And I'm actually going to do one marathon. Every single month this full year. So on the plane ride back, I planned out a marathon every single month for that year. And during that year, I met this guy out in Utah. I was running a marathon with my friend. And my friend I think she was trying to brag and say she's doing a marathon every month.
Yeah.
This dude is like, I've been doing a marathon every month for 26 years. He's done over 500. He's incredible. We're still very good friends. He inspired me.
Oh, wow.
Continues to inspire me. He has cancer right now, and he's still running a marathon every month.
Goodness
29 years.
gracious.
The man is incredible. But anyway, so it's been for me 5.5 years of doing a marathon a month, and I'm just going to keep going. I'm just gonna keep going. Why not?
Keep going for as long as you can. I was literally thinking about that the other day. I was like, as I get older, as people get older in general, like if you just make it a point to work out every single day to constantly build your muscle, build your endurance, like your life, like not your lifespan, but like the capacity of your life. You know what I'm saying?
It's both your quality.
Yeah, the quality of your life goes way up.
And it doesn't matter what you do. Like everyone has a different thing. Running's not for everybody. Maybe your back or your knees hurt. Totally get it. I'm not saying running's for everybody, but I think even if it's just getting in the habit of doing it, right? 5 minutes of your time doing yoga or weightlifting or
just
doing
being
something.
Outside.
Being outside, the fresh air just changes everything.
Just a walk. Like sometimes I'll just go home and I'm like, I just need to go and walk around the neighborhood and just hear the birds and just kind of.
It's peaceful.
Yeah, it is
Clears
peaceful.
your mind. Yeah.
It does clear your mind.
And it's also helped me too. I've met such a different community of people. I mean, I'm running with some incredible people that have changed the world, and I'm learning their stories. I've bettered my life so much in every aspect because of the people that I run with. So it's literally changed my life.
That's awesome. That's crazy. What are some of those people that you met? Like,
So
I don't know if you can name drop or not.
I can tell you, one of them, I met my financial advisor through that. Dr. Michelle Kong. She's incredible. She's a ICU doctor at Children's of Alabama, but she also created this nonprofit called Culture City, and it's literally changed the world. It's the leading nonprofit for people with invisible disabilities, autism, or whatever, to create sensory rooms in some of the biggest venues around the country. She's just incredible. I mean, so I just pick her brain all the time, and she's just changed the culture and the mindset of so many people throughout the world. So just hearing her philosophy, how she remembers people when she first got started, when she wasn't, as big as she was today with her organization, and just, some people just helped me to become a better person. I'm just one example.
That's awesome. Yeah, because you get those people to pour into your life, like regardless of if they know they're doing it or not, they are, and you take those pieces back home with you.
For sure. You're picking their brain all the time.
Exactly. You're like,
one of my friends made a good point. She said, it's hard to get a meeting with a CEO for 10 minutes if you're just like, hey, can I meet with you? But if you go, I run with some of the coolest people in the community. You go run with them and you develop a level of respect, and you're just, go through miles. You're just naturally talking. So
That's awesome.
It's really special. Yeah.
Do you do this is really random, but do you do any run clubs? You know what I'm talking about? Like, I've seen them all over social media where people will just post hey, running club at this random place, and everybody shows up.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have a few different ones. Birmingham Track Club is a big one. Every Saturday morning, group of maybe 50 people meets, in Homewood. We all run the street. It's crazy packed. It's wild.
Wow.
So I have a bunch of different groups of people. I don't like to run by myself, because I'm in the news and I know too much of the violent things that go on. But also just, it's just safer to run in numbers, and it's more fun. It's just more fun. So
it's a lot more fun to run with people.
There's a ton of run groups. So
exactly.
That's cool.
So that's really great.
Are some of the marathons you do, are they mainly in Alabama, or do you travel around?
I travel, and that's another cool part. I got to see so many awesome places around the country. I'm trying to do one eventually in every state, but it gets expensive to travel every month. So I try to do ones that I can drive to. I'll have a couple of big ones throughout the year. So next month I have a race in Utah I'm doing with some friends.
Oh, cool.
The next month is I'm in Hartford, Connecticut. My family's in Connecticut, so I'll run one there. And then New York City Marathon's in November. So try to just travel, and I've done some awesome ones. I'm trying to do the world majors. Yeah. 6 races. I did the Boston Marathon, Chicago, and London Marathon last year. Actually, I went to Boston.
London?
Yep. So I ran the Boston.
You're like, hang on.
Hang on. We're going to what?
Hold on. Yeah. So I crossed the finish line of the Boston Marathon, jumped on a plane right from the finish line, and flew to London. And the London Marathon was that same week. It was that next weekend. So
2 marathons in 2 different continents.
Yes.
Oh my word.
Yeah. So that was kind of wild. And then Chicago was cool. So yeah. And then so I'll do
That
Boston.
was kind of wild.
Boston, London, Chicago.
Really wild.
Yeah. It's going to take my brain a second to wrap around that.
No, for real.
Yeah,
that's
been a good time.
crazy.
Dang, you're making me want to run a whole marathon for school tomorrow.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. And two, I gotta tie. This is again super super random, but kind of tying back to being a news anchor. Like, what is your philosophy for interviewing people?
I think it's people over everything else. So obviously I work on TV, right? And we're trying to do a job, but I'm always thinking about the person first and trying to meet people where they're at. Sometimes I mentioned we talk to people on the toughest days of their lives, sometimes the best days of their lives, right? Exactly. So I always want to make sure people feel comfortable. I always make sure that they know that I'm in it for them. I'm here to make them, look good. Of course, there's an element to my job where you're holding people accountable, right? And you're doing that side of things. And if I need to turn on that mode, I will. But I always want people to know that they can feel comfortable with me. I don't come in this is just my approach. I don't come in with this huge list of questions. I let the conversation guide us. I come in naturally curious, and I genuinely want to learn about the person, and that's where you find those little nuggets of things. So my philosophy is just people first, and having this approach of letting the person drive the conversation.
Yeah. That's awesome. Then you find all those little stories.
Yeah, and and if you care about people, and if you empathize with people, and you seek to understand, that's where you find the most value, in my opinion. A lot of people, I think, in my industry, and this is not calling anyone out, I think it's just because we're on tight deadlines, right? We have to turn stories every day. The news starts at 4:00. You have to have everything done, ahead of time. So you have to just I could be here 10 minutes, but no, like I don't know. I just think it's important to treat people as people. I don't like canceling interviews because people make time out of their day to meet with me.
Exactly.
They're opening up, I don't know. It depends on the person, but I always think the person needs to be first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
Then going back, this is also going to be really random. But
I love random.
going back to when you said your family is in Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
I saw online that you were Miss Connecticut.
Yes.
So how did that all work out? Because I know that probably takes a lot of time out of your life. How did that work around running?
I'm very goal oriented. I guess I've always kind of been that my whole life.
Yeah.
So that was just a different season of life. I'm much older now, so but I always wanted to compete at Miss America. I always wanted to become Miss Connecticut. It was growing up, that was what I always wanted to do. So again, that was a different season, but it's really helped me to be who I am today. The Miss America organization founded
that
on
confidence.
I was trying to get scholarship money for school, right? I was paying for school, so scholarship money for school. It helped me to create a world of service. I find the importance of service in life, and then just confidence, of speaking in front of people. I've been speaking in front of people since I was a little girl, singing in front of people my whole life. And the most important thing I think I took away was interview skills. So being able, within the Miss America organization, you have a panel of judges sitting in front of you. They could rapid fire any question about anything. You have to be informed. You have to be at least generally informed and have some type of an opinion on so many different subjects, right?
Yeah.
So that's translated directly to my job in so many ways.
I was about to say that helps you a lot with news anchor.
Yeah, and a lot of the women I compete at Miss America with are still some of my best friends all around the country. So that's been pretty cool.
Awesome. So you did compete in Miss America.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Way back, I was Miss Connecticut in 2010, and it was super fun. So
that's awesome. What's your biggest advice for all the little girls wanting to achieve big goals such as running marathons, being a news anchor, or
all the random things?
All the random things.
All the random things I do. Oh man, I think
all the random big things you do.
Right.
You make me sound cooler than I am. I don't know. I think it's about staying true to yourself, and it's a journey, right? Because you have to figure out who you are and what you like and what you don't like to figure out who you are, right?
Yeah.
So it's I think again, I'm a very goal-oriented person, so I'm an achiever by nature. So I think anything that drives and receives results is something that drives me toward a path. So crossing a finish line, right? Accomplishing something big, or even in this business, being on the news every evening and putting in the hard work. A lot of people think, oh, you're on TV. And people go into the business for, in my opinion, the wrong reasons of just wanting to be on TV. That's the smallest part of my day. It's the writing. It's the preparation in advance and then executing, right? So my biggest piece of advice is to try a bunch of things. Failures doesn't exist. It's all part of leading to what will make you successful and learning the things that you're good at and the things that you're bad at. It's all part of the journey. So just experiment, make mistakes, and go figure that out. And just write down your goals. Write down what you want to do in life, and then
Because
then
writing
just get
is a
it.
lot better than like just thinking.
I've been journaling every day. Like I felt through some years. I mean, I've journaled since I was in 4th or 5th grade, and I would journal every day. So, and not just journaling like, dear diary, this is what I did today, but like, but with intention, right? I listen to a lot of like motivational speakers, even some from like the 80s. I listen to this guy every single day. He's from the 80s, and just philosophy, creating your philosophy. What do you believe in? What is your mission statement? Like being intentional in life, I think is what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
Writing your goals, adapting your goals, changing things along the way, pivoting, and just figuring out who you are.
That's awesome. Well,
really
thank you so
cool.
much for coming in and talking with us
thank you.
today. Like,
Y'all are
you're
amazing.
literally
Good to
awesome.
meet
No,
you.
y'all are so cool, and you do say.
I feel so cool getting to interview you. Like, what?
Again.
Oh my
I appreciate
goodness.
y'all so much.
Of course.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.